Yo, good evening, USA, Canada, worldwide, Long Island, aka Strong Island, plus the five spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. This is your man, G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, YouTuber, creator, host with the most, misunderstood lonely nomad, unstoppable independent podcaster, and rookie podcaster of Queens, New York. And you are rocking with the 33rd episode of this sports edition show, um, Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast. Now, let me explain the reason why I added talks to this. I've been doing a lot of thinking in terms of like what to add to the title. So I figured talks might make more sense than mechanics because mm, because the thing with mechanics is like you when it comes to athletes and stuff, like you go by um the moves that they actually do, like in baseball and stuff like that. And so yeah, eh, well, talks fits because I'm actually talking to you folks right now in the sports world right now that's into baseball, that's into basketball, football, there's tennis. Of course, there's the U.S. Open that's going on right now. And yeah, excellent, fun, vibrant talks podcast, sports edition show. There you have it, right there, man. And if you missed any previous episodes whatsoever, don't worry, I got you back. I'll fill you in on on that in a second. Now, a reminder: we are live and direct from StreamYard alongside with um, YouTube, and alongside is the Instagram live feed. Make sure you turn on your notifications so you can be reminded when when the show is going to be um, posted, as far as like um, new episodes on a weekly basis. And like I said before, if you missed any previous episodes whatsoever, um, don't worry. All you need to do is go catch up on the episodes on the Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast YouTube channel page. Yes, this is a sports show. Yes, and of course, tap that no bell so you can be reminded when the show goes in the air via live stream, including the time of the recording is going to start. More video content, upcoming episodes, previous episodes. Leave a like and a comment along with the episodes, and of course, be sure to listen. Be sure to stream these episodes. Of course, download these episodes, and I will handle the rest at the end of the show. So, let's see. Now, how am I feeling mentally, physically, and spiritually? You ask. As you can see, lately I've been celebrating the 1 year anniversary of my other platform, Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast. And this sports podcast is going to have a 1 year anniversary too. For those of you who may not know, um, this sports podcast was started on September 19th of 2021. And coming upon the 1 year anniversary, I'm probably gonna do like a reflection on how it came about. And yes, I am going to keep pushing this sports podcast because we all need sports podcasts. That's very important to our lives. So yeah, there you have it though, man. And and overall, mentally, physically, and spiritually, I am I am I am still soaking in the success of the first platform, which is Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast, and I have another one in November, which is the 2 year anniversary of my New York podcast. Yes, New York podcast. Actually, man, it's pretty interesting, and I'm pretty much gonna go out with a bang, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's the story on that. Now, um, can we get to the quick side bleacher bar for a second? We got some sports topics to get into, starting with Mike Tyson. So let's get into it right now, man. Yes, Mike Tyson is the first story. Yes, here we go. Um, so all right, so Mike Tyson gets philosophical about money and mortality. So Mike Tyson believes at times that his fate is imminent. On his podcast, Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson, the former heavyweight boxing champ had therapist Sean McFarlane, who specializes in trauma and addiction, on as a guest, and told him he feels he's itching closer to death. We're all gonna die one day, of course, Tyson said. Then when I look in the mirror, I see those little spots on my face. I say, wow, that means my expiration date is coming close really soon. The 56-year-old Tyson has become very philosophical and introspective, and before addressing his mortality, he spoke about how money does not bring the happiness and security that those who have never had it might suspect. That's actually true. I actually agree with this. I actually spoke to somebody from work actually about this whole notion about money bringing happiness, which is not the case. And I say this all the time, folks, that happiness cannot be brought. The same way friendship can't be bought. You know what I'm saying? And I had to. I'm actually bringing it up again because I feel that it is important to actually you know get a better understanding that happiness is not something that you can actually grab from a bodega or a supermarket. It's a feeling. You know what I'm saying? So so yeah, there you have it right there. And in more Mike Tyson news, money don't mean shit to me, Tyson said. I always tell people they think money's gonna make them happy. They've never had money before. When you have a lot of money, you can't expect nobody to love you. How am I gonna confess my love to you when you have $500 billion? Wow. The false sense of security. You believe nothing can happen. You don't believe in you don't believe the banks could collapse. You believe that you are invincible when you have a lot of money, which isn't true. Which isn't true. That's why I always say money is a false sense of security. Tyson said he has conversations with his wife where she says she wants money for security. What is security? He asked. I don't know. When you put money in your bank and you get a check every week and you can live for the rest of your life, is that security? That means you won't catch a disease. You can't get hit by a car. You can't jump off of a bridge. I don't know. Is that security? Can money secure you from that? Hmm. That's a good question, man. And I think let me let me feel this. Let me feel this one, folks. Look, I remember talking to certain people, including my mother, and I remember asking her if money is the root of all evil. And sometimes it could be the root of all evil depending on how you use your money. I think it's all about how you use your money for certain things. Now, as far as like, security and all that other stuff, like I guess security, in other words, financial security is what he's talking about. Is what I'm getting a sense of this is basically, you're talking about financial security, right? Yeah, and And I had to agree with Mike Tyson on this one, man. Money doesn't really mean shit, and it doesn't bring happiness. It's nice to have to pay bills and shit, but but how can you it's like how do you put money over people that you care about? I get the bills aspects, especially with apartments and all that other crazy shit, but sometimes I wonder, does having your own place, like an apartment or in the projects or whatever, does that really guarantee happiness? Well, I'm gonna actually throw that. I'm going to throw that question out there after I record this episode, because I think it's important to actually get a better understanding and some clarity about this. And I think sometimes, we get caught up with the money and fame and glory and all that other stuff, but then we forget the people that let me just say, hold on, let me put myself on screen. Let me explain this again, man. Look, money is the root of all evil. And I think it's the way you use your money. And and does and I say, does money really, does money with having your own place or whatever, does it really guarantee happiness? And I ask this because, the whole notion about having security, I guess you're talking about financial security. Financial security is very important as far as, as far as bills. Yes, that's important, but what about you? You know what I'm saying? And as I said before, and a couple of times, that money don't equal happiness. I guess it's because of the I guess it's because of the mentality that certain individuals have, whatsoever. And I'm not really, look, I'm not here to actually try to, knock anybody's hustle, but there is a difference between a good hustle than a there's a yeah. There's a difference between a good hustle and a bad hustle and a bad deal. So I think you have to get a little sense of clarity on what the main issue with security. And it's crazy that Mike Tyson asked this question: "What is security?" I was like, "Yo, that's crazy that he asked that question." But you know what? I'm gonna throw that question out there to you folks out there that's listening, right now. That's listening right now. I'm gonna make a post and I'm going to actually put that in the episode description on streaming platforms. Um, After I finish recording this episode right there, because I think we need to differentiate um what makes us happy versus money, because last time I checked, money does cloud people's judgments, and it changes a person's personality. And yeah, I watch a lot of TV shows and movies about these things too, man. Because once you let money get to your head, you end up pushing people away, as far as like the ones that you care about. You know what I'm saying? So just think about this, man. Mike Tyson has a damn fucking point though, man. And I'm not gonna fucking hold you folks. So just think about this, man. All right, so our next story in sports is Rolando Romero. All right, so Rolando Romero, yeah, Rolly, aka Rolly, of course, according to TMZ Sports, will have the Royal Badness on his side when he faces Gervonta Davis next weekend. Um, because the boxer just copped some purple rain boxing shoes. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh man. Yeah, yeah. Purple Rain boxing shoes complete with a portrait of Prince. Okay, I get that you're trying to pay homage to Prince and stuff, but I hate to say this though, man. But these kicks look fucking ugly. Like what the hell, man? Are you serious? Them shits look fucking ugly, man. And I be damned if them shits cost like over $300 compared to them fucking retros and shit, man. But oh man. Anyways, TMZ Sports has learned the 14 to zip boxer hit up Houston artist Aztec Customs to get custom made kicks for his WBA lightweight title match against Tank. Oh Lord. Now Rolly is a huge Prince fan, so it was only right to pay homage to one of the greatest musicians of all time during the huge event. And what better song than Purple Rain? Yeah. Aztec used extra rhinestones and bright colors to create the Purple Rain theme, and Prince's iconic symbol and portrait are etched on the sides of the shoes. We're told it took 8 hours to complete, and Aztec is super hyped to see the 26-year-old wear them in the ring at the Barclays Center. And it happened, yeah, it happened in New York. It's pretty exciting, Aztec said. It'll be my first pair of shoes being worn in a major fight. Wow. This ain't the first time Rolly got custom kicks featuring Prince last year. Aztec painted the cover of the 1984 song Erotic City on his Air Force Ones. Oh my gosh. And I gotta say, man, I don't know, man. This shit right here sounds like it's not really. I don't know, man. That's not really something I would cop, but I would have to really. I don't know, man. This is trash. All right. Let's get to let's get to the Yankees. Um, all right. So this happened recently, of course. All right. So despite their recent skid, the New York Yankees have been one of the best teams in baseball all year long. 71. Well, actually, they're more than 71 wins and 40. They still own the best record in the American League, together with the Houston Astros. The Yanks, however, have had to manage their way through several impactful injuries in their journey this year. Most of them have been of the long-term variety and have forced them to alter their plans in many cases. Of course, obviously, Yankees injured list is okay. Michael King, elbow, Luis Severino, Severino, um, LAT, of course, obviously, Jean Cole Simpson. I think I covered that one already, but he came back recently. Wait, hold on. Did he come back recently? No. He's still out. Matt Carpenter, foot, Chad Green, TJ, Luis Gill, TJ, Zach Britton, TJ, Harrison Bader, foot, Miguel Castro, shoulders, um, Stephen Riding, shoulder, out for the year. SI's . .com. Max Goodman tweeted, "Oh boy." Soldiers down. Green and King are two of the best relief arms on the Yankees, and losing them forced the team to go to the market and bring in Scott Efros and Lou Trevino. Zach Britton, a veteran who has been in the American League's elite for nearly a decade, is expected back at some point in September. But we are in September now, but no one knows if he will be healthy or good enough to help. Of course, this week the Yankees suffered another crushing loss. This time in the position player department, Matt Carpenter um, has a foot injury and will be out for weeks. Slugger Giancarlo Stanton, 24 home runs, should be back soon to contribute his usual power, while trade deadline acquisition Harrison Bader could be back in September. All things considered, the Yankees have been hit hard by injuries this year, but they have been able to overcome those issues for the most part. They have lost 7 of their last 10 games, though, so their depth is still being tested. Well, unfortunately for the Yankee fans out there, man, I hate to say this, man, but they are. I hate to say this though, man, but along with the damn collapse, the collapse is pretty scary, man. The collapse is pretty scary, man, and I say this, not just to bash the Yankee fans out there, but um, you gotta be honest here, man. You know what I mean? So um I'm about to get into that right now, actually. So let's get into scary collapse. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy right there, man. And this is not me saying this shit, folks, man. There's plenty of online websites that's actually talking about this shit too, man. And this is from the New York Post. And this is not me saying this though, man, but I hate to say this, but if the 2022 Yankees aren't careful, they might be remembered in the same way the 2004 Yankees are the authors of one of the biggest collapses in sports history. After another brutal loss to a bad Angels team in Anaheim, the Yankees find themselves just 6 games ahead of the Rays and just 5 in the loss column as the two teams prepare to meet 6 times in the next 10 days, of course, starting Friday at Tropicana Field. What seems like a foregone conclusion by the middle of June, the Yankees division title is now in jeopardy. Their 15 and a half game lead on July 8th has been cut in half and then some. The last time they had such a slim advantage, June 3rd, the Yankees were in the midst of a 7 game winning streak and a stretch in which they won 16 of 17 games. At this moment, they're coming off their worst month since the miserable 1991 season when they finished under 500 for a third straight year. One thing, hold on a minute here. Yeah, one thing in the Yankees' favor for the stretch run is that according to um Tanka Tankathion.com, they have just the 15th hardest remaining schedule, and just 2 teams have a more difficult road ahead than the Rays. But that's small solace for a team that's coming off what manager Aaron Boone called a rough month, and he wasn't interested in discussing how September might be better. Um, and he says we got to play better than we've played lately. Boone said it's as simple as that. The offense has been almost non-existent, which means errors on back-to-back plays by Josh Donaldson and Isaiah Kinner, um, Falefa, excuse me, and a mistake from Jarrett Cole to Shohei Ohtani that turned into a 3-run homer sealed the Yankees' fate on Wednesday. We're still in a good spot, Cole said afterwards in a door visiting clubhouse at Angel Stadium. We've got another month of opportunities to try to continue to get better. It sounded similar to what Aaron Judge said just a few weeks ago after another dismal road trip when they went 2-7 in stops at St. Louis, Seattle, and Boston. End quote. If you would have asked me at the start of the year, would I like a 10-game lead in the middle of August? I think any of us would have signed up for that, the outfitter said on August 14th. There's little things we need to improve on. Going back over this whole road trip, different things on the base paths, executing with guys in scoring position and picking each other up. Outside of a 5-game winning streak, which has been followed by losses in 4 of their past 5 games, that hasn't happened. To make matters worse, in the Bronx, the Rays are coming off a sweep of Miami, have won 9 of their past 11, and are 14-4 since August 13th. And since August 12th, Tampa Bay has moved from 4th to 2nd place in the AL East. They are without their best pitcher for at least the next 2 weeks, with Shane McClanahan on the IL due to a left shoulder impingement. But the Yankees are dealing with their own injury woes. Luis Servino, LAT, and Nestor Cortes groin are on the IL. They have a battered bullpen, and Anthony Rizzo back and DJ LeMahieu toe are trying to play through injuries. It's a long year, Boone said, of getting back to the style of play his team showed in the first half. I have total confidence we will. We've got to get guys healthy, and the unfortunate part is the last several weeks we've been losing close games. There figures to be plenty more of them over the next month and into the postseason. So it's in the Yankees' best interest to start winning some of them. Well, that is pretty true though. Anyway, all right, let's get into another Yankees situation. Yankee situation. Let's see. All right, Josh Donaldson. This was like okay. So there hasn't been much to cheer about in Yankee land over the last month plus. Yes, Aaron Judge continues to light the league on fire, and DJ LeMahieu is back to perform like the hitting machine of 2020 to 2021. But the team remains mired in an extended rut. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can actually relate to what it's like to being in a rut because it's happened to me a couple of times. Creatively speaking, actually, you know what I'm saying? But I managed to turn that rut into something else though, man. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, um from the start of July through the end of the play on Sunday, New York stumbled to a 14-18 record, including a downright putrid 5-game losing streak after the trade deadline. The offense has looked blunted without Anthony Rizzo and Giancarlo Stanton to back up the aforementioned pair, scoring 3 runs or fewer in 3 of the last 4 contests. And they've just lost Matt Carpenter too. The lineup just isn't as scary with the recently slumping Gleyber Torres and Josh Donaldson occupying the 3 and 4 holes. That being said, there are some encouraging trends in the month of August that point to a turnaround in form for the latter member of that duo. Donaldson has had a Jekyll and Hyde first year in pinstripes. He was one of the steadier contributors on offense up until the late May shoulder injury that cost him 2 weeks with 5 home runs and a 123 WRC plus through the first 37 games. Upon returning from injury, he endured a rocky 2 week stretch, going 9 for 43 with a 30% strikeout rate and 51 WRC plus. Things looked like they were turning around, starting with the 6 and 19 contest against the Blue Jays, with Donaldson ripping off a 17-game stretch with 4 home runs and a 119 WRC plus. But then came his most putrid run of the form as a Yankee, 17 games from July 9th to July 31st, going 9 for 57 with a 35% strikeout rate and 15 WRC plus. Just when it looked like Donaldson's advanced age has fully caught up with him, we're seeing some signs of life over the last 7 games, including the impressive 4-hit night yesterday. He has 5 extra base hits, including a pair of dingers and a 247 WRC plus, and it seems like every batted ball is struck with authority. He's walking in 13.3% of plate appearances this month, which balances out a 26.7% strikeout rate. Damn. And in the broader context of his game plan at the plate, those strikeout totals aren't even all that bad. They indicate a more aggressive mindset on balls in the zone, contrasted with what felt at times to be an overly passive approach during the slump. What's fueling the resurgence? For starters, Donaldson is making better swing decisions relative to the to July 9th through July 31st slide. His chase rate is down almost 6 points, while his swing rate against pitches in the shadow zone, pitches around the edges of the zone that are called strikes, roughly half the time, and not necessarily the best pitches to hit, is down over 3 points. But most importantly, Donaldson's contact metrics are night and day different. His zone contact rate during the slump stood at 66.2%. It's at 86.7% in the month of August. However, just making contact is only half the battle. It's the quality of contact that wins the day. I decided to look at the percentage of his batted balls thrown over the heart of the plate that fall under the StatCast categories of barrel, solid, and flare burner, the 3 best kinds of contact for doing damage. From July 9th to July 31st, only a third of his batted balls fell under those headings. In August, that skyrockets to 75%. And it appears this is the result of mechanical adjustments Donaldson has made at the plate. Here's a footage of Donaldson facing a pair of fastballs right down the middle from Brandon Belak. When the Yankees face the Astros on July 21st, his swing is long and loopy, and he's unable to get the barrel to the ball, resulting in a whiff and a foul. Here he is against the Orioles 2 days later. Again, facing a pair of heaters, he's way late and whiffs against the first one. Against the second, he's collapsing on his backside and almost throwing his arm at the ball, in addition to a little bit of stepping in the bucket, all of which prevent him from doing anything other than foul off the middle fastball. It's not just
against the fastball that he struggled. Look at these two swings against a pair of sliders from Caleb Ort of the Red Sox of July 16th. He's guessing fastball both times and whips way early both times. The worst were these two swings against cement mixer sliders thrown by Max Scherzer and Seth Lugo of the Mets on July 27th. He's again out in front of the first one and hits a weak rubber ground out. On the second, he's diving out over the plate. The off-bound swing fouling away a cookie pitch. It was a Murphy's Law combination of poor timing, not seeing the ball well, and bulky mechanics that prevented him from hitting even the most hittable pitches. Contrast to with the following clips where we catch glimpses of the Donaldson of old. Take this RBI single against the Cardinals on August 5th. It's another fastball down the middle, but this time his body weight is staying centered over his legs instead of diving over the plate. He's able to transfer the energy from his base into a sharply struck line drive. This RBI double was even more impressive. The slider wasn't even a bad pitch, but Donaldson drives it into the gap with relative ease. In addition to the classic compact level swing upon which Donaldson built his success, note the way his front toe is pointing at a 45-degree angle instead of directly towards the pitcher, allowing his hips to rotate at the proper time while maintaining good upper body posture. The nice thing about these positive strides in the batted ball and plate discipline departments is that they stabilize much faster than metrics like OPS and WRC. Um, they are usually the result of adjustments in process, which are the types of changes that can stick and predict future performance. Donaldson appears to have rediscovered his vintage swing this month, and it couldn't come at a better time for the Yankees. Um, yeah, that's pretty good, man. Anyway, that's gotta really suck though, man. Let's see. Um, so most recently, after a miserable few days in St. Louis, the Yankees got back to winning on Monday, snapping their season high 5 game losing streak with a 9-4 win over the Mariners at T-Mobile Park. But it came with a course as Matt Carpenter suffered a fractured left foot in the first inning and could be lost for the season. Um, damn. Against Seattle, they had enough to overcome Carpenter's absence as Josh Donaldson had 4 hits, including a 2-run single in the first and a solo homer in the third. And Aaron Judge crushed his 44th. Well, actually, he's in his 50s right now, though, so of the season. So James Taillon continued his pattern of being good every other start as he gave up 3 runs in 7 innings. It came after the team was swept by the Cardinals with their new top of the rotation pitcher Frankie Montas getting hit hard on Sunday, and their lead in the AL East had dropped into single digits for the first time since June 15th. It was definitely nice to get one, Aaron Boone said after Monday's win. It's been a rough week for us. Boone has seen enough during the losing streak that he felt the need to speak to the team prior to Monday's game. It was more the dust settling from the trade deadline, Boone said of his team, which has been mediocre since the middle of June, but it's still 74, 71, 39. Actually, they're more than 71 wins. With a 10 and a half game lead over the Blue Jays and the best record in the American League. where everyone's going to give us their best shot every night. Taylor said, we have to try and match that. We know we haven't been playing our best baseball, and we need to go out there and stop that. Donaldson's 2-run single in the first got them started. Taillon gave a run back in the bottom of the inning when he allowed a 2-out homer to Mitch Haniger. Donaldson's productive night continued in the third when he blasted a solo homer to left off Logan Gilbert with 2 outs. It was Donaldson's 11th home run of the season and gave Donaldson 8 RBIs in his past 6 games. Gleyber Torres followed with a single off the wall and right before Andrew Bertinelli. Hold on, Benintendi doubled to right. Torres was waved home and should have been thrown out easily at the plate, but shortstop J.P. Crawford bounced the throw home, and Cashapp Rolando couldn't come up with it to make it 4-1. Taillon loaded the bases in the fourth. Haniger singled with 1 out and moved to second on a wild pitch before Taillon issued 2-out walks to Eugenio Suarez and Carlos Santana. Taillon then got ahead of Crawford on 0-2, but Crawford worked it to a full count. After 5 straight foul balls, Crawford finally walked on the 11th pitch of the at-bat to force in a run and make it 4-2. Rolando then nearly hit a grand slam, but it went just foul, and Taillon got him to ground out to end the 34th pitch, 3-walk inning. We needed that, Boone said of Taylor's length. We were thin in the pen. Donaldson doubled to lead off the 5th, improving to 5 for 5 against Gilbert overall. A Torres fly ball to the wall went just over Sam Haggerty for a double, but Donaldson couldn't score. Benintendi's opposite field double to left drove in, and he scored on a sacrifice fly by Isaiah Kenneth Falefa to give the Yankees a 7-2 lead. Taillon allowed a 2-out homer to Rolando in the 7th. Aroldis Chapman pitched a scoreless 8th before Clay Holmes faltered again in the 9th, allowing a run for a 3rd straight appearance. Wow. Yeah, and speaking of terrible, Fernando Tatis Jr. Ooh. San Diego Padres star Fernando Tatis Jr. tested positive for a performance enhancement drug and was suspended 80 games, a punishment that ends his 2022 season. Major League Baseball announced Friday. In a statement, the 23-year-old shortstop said that he inadvertently treated ringworms with a medication that contained the banned substance clostebol, and that after initially appealing the ruling, he decided to drop the appeal. I should have used the resources available to me to ensure that no banned substances were in what I took. I failed to do so, Tatis said in his statement. I have no excuse for my error, and I would never do anything to cheat or disrespect this game. I love. Okay, let's take a look at what this shit is, though, man. What is it? Cloak ball. Let me fill you in on this shit, though, man. What is cloak ball? Okay. So cloak ball, it usually as the ester cobalt acetate, is a synthetic anabolic androgenic steroid. Closeball is the 4-chloral derivative of the natural hormone testosterone. The the chlorination prevents conversion to um, dihydrotestosterone while also rendering the chemical incapable of conversion to estrogen. Yeah, that's tough luck, man. But he's stupid for that shit anyway, man. Yeah, he's stupid for that shit though. He's really stupid for that shit though. Anyway, Padres general manager AJ Preller said he told manager Bob Melvin the news at the batting practice before Friday's game. The two men then delivered the news to the team. Melvin said the news was met with shock. We were hoping that from the offseason to now that there would be some maturity, and obviously with the news today, it's more of a pattern, and it's something that we've got to dig a bit more into, Preller said. I'm sure he's very disappointed, but at the end of the day, it's one thing to say it. You've got to start showing by your actions. Tatis had yet to appear in a game this season because of a wrist injury he suffered in an off-season motorcycle accident. He will be ineligible to play for the Padres should they make the postseason. San Diego is 16 games back of the Los Angeles Dodgers in the National League West, but would own the newly created third NL wildcard spot if the season ended Friday. We were surprised and extremely disappointed to learn today that Fernando Tatis Jr. tested positive for performance-enhancing substance in violation of Major League Baseball's Joint Prevention and Treatment Program and subsequently received an 80-game suspension without pay. The Padres said in a statement, "We fully support the program and are hopeful that Fernando will learn from this experience." Melvin said he planned to speak with Tatis on Saturday, and after reading his statement, he wanted his side of the story. The league's policy dictates that clubs are not notified of a player's positive test until the day that the player is set to be added to the restricted list. So the Padres did not know Tatis had tested positive when they engineered a franchise-altering deal to acquire Juan Soto from the Washington Nationals at the trade deadline. At the time, the deal looked like a splurge for a team soundly in contention with its young superstar. Tatis preparing to return from injury for the stretch run. In hindsight, Soto and Josh Bell will replace much needed production as the Padres try to make the long October run they and Prellis have sought for most of the past decade. This is a blow for us, and we'll have to move on, Melvin said. I'm glad we made the moves we did over the deadline. We feel like we have a really good team still, and sometimes you have to deal with some adversity. Now, Soto and Bell will anchor a Padres lineup that still contains Manny Machado, a formidable heart of the order that appeared poised to be dominant down the stretch, but had not been yet. San Diego is 3-5 since trading for Soto, including a sweep at the hands of the Dodgers last week. When Tatis has been healthy in the big leagues, he has been explosive. Last season, despite battling a shoulder injury down the stretch, he led the league with 42 homers at age 22. He was an MVP candidate in the slam-demic shortened 2020 season. But after battling the shoulder problem in late 2021, Tatis returned from the lockout with a new problem. One of his team had not been able to address while the players negotiated a new collective bargaining agreement. He had broken his wrist in a motorcycle accident. His return had been slower in coming than some hope, but it seemed probable to arrive soon. He would not return until 2023. We have the guys in here to get to where we want to be. Machado said, we're just going to keep continuing to play like a team. We still have the same goal, which is to make a World Series and bring a championship to San Diego, and that's what we're intending to do. Wow, that's crazy, man. That's really crazy right there, though, man. So let me see. Let me see what other topics that we could talk about here, man. Before I forget. Um, Before I forget, though, hold on a sec. Okay, now that we got that Josh thing. Um, okay, now we can go to um the highlights of the home run derby and of course the first let's do the highlights of the All-Star game. So highlights of the MLB All-Star game. Here's what went down. The 92nd MLB um MLB All-Star game is here in Los Angeles as our Sports Illustrated editors and writers Matt Martell, Emma Emma Baxel Baxelari, Will Laws and Nick Selby to watch along with you from Dodger Stadium. Of course, the pregame festivities are just about over. Melissa O'Neill sang the Canadian anthem. Ben Platt sang the U.S. national anthem. Um, Denzel Washington. Wait a minute. And Denzel Washington read a dedication to Jackie Robinson. Um, who debuted for the Dodgers 75 years ago, and Mookie Betts led a special stadium-wide birthday greeting for Jackie's wife, Rachel Robinson, who turns 100 today. Then Dodgers legend Fernando Valenzuela threw out the first pitch, and Alejandro Kirk, the real first pitch, should be coming in the next few minutes, of course. Yeah, so um yeah, for those of you who may not know who Melissa O'Neill is, she's the actress that is in the TV show The Rookie that's coming out on September 25th, season 5. I will actually go over that in episode 182. So stay tuned for that one right there on the New York podcast. So yeah, so a little recap on a little recap though, man. So yeah. Um so honestly I can't for bold prediction I will not throw up the Dodger dog I just ate. Honestly, I can't believe that's what you went for after it's all they've been serving us in the press box this week. Bold prediction: Clay Kershaw goes 2 innings with at least 4 strikeouts, setting the home crowd into a frenzy. Hey, look, it's SI's own Tom Verducci. Bold predictions: Shohei Ohtani homers off Kershaw on the first pitch of the game. That was good enough. I hope Shohei doesn't take a single pitch the entire night. Also, I hope he steals like 7 bases. And of course, pretty good summary of the Angels season right here. I don't think enough could be said about giving the hometown guy the start in the ASG if there's a viable candidate. Dodger Stadium is pretty electric right now, far more than if, say, Sandy Alcantara um had picked off a tiny there. I agree. Also, it's fun to see that Rafael Devers is getting no lead off first base at all now. From the left field auxiliary press box, it looks like Devers and Paul Goldschmidt are holding hands. That's how small Devers' lead is. Agree. Will, yes. I think Alcantara probably deserved it more just on the merits, but the ASG that isn't just about the merits. It's a celebration of everything that goes into uh, the season. And it's fine for that to include some fan service. That's why I love the inclusion of Miggy and Pujols on the rosters too. Adding the Legacy All Stars might be the crowning achievement of Rob Manfred's time as commissioner. As phenomenal as he's been, people will not be talking about how great of a first half Sandy Alcantara had in 2022 years from now. They will 100% remember Clayton Kershaw starting the All Star game in front of his home fans. The predictions: who hits the first home run? Um, I'll go with forms out of Jock Peterson. I'm going with Paul Goldschmidt in this inning. Shane McClanahan doesn't have it. Byron Buxton off Kershaw next inning just because. I'll take Stanton, who leads off the next inning for the AL. Andres Jimenez with the flare on the behind the back toss to start the 4-6-3 double play. This has been a pretty awesome first inning. All it's missing is a home run. Yeah. Babe Ruth in the World Series, Joe Namath in the Super Bowl, Matt Martell in the All-Star game, all great moments in sports predictions. Imagine this inning if Andres Jimenez hadn't turned that nifty double play. Um Earlier this week, Dusty Baker said he'd never seen Shane McClanahan pitch, but he actually um, managed against him in Game 6 of the 2020 ALCS when McClanahan allowed 3 runs in 1.2 innings. Seems like he might be getting a similarly forgettable outing here. Um, Kind of surprised Kershaw only got 1 inning, but perhaps um, he only wanted one. I wonder if we'll see McClanahan again in the second inning. Maybe if Kershaw had gone too, but that would seem pretty weird if he got a second one after Kersh didn't, despite not allowing a run. Nobody should ever strike out looking in an All Star game. Sandy's hitting triple digits here. Tim Anderson is a good contact hitter, but I'd be surprised if he prevents a strikeout of this side. Well, he did, but a 1-2-3 inning all the same for Sandy. AL doesn't have a hit since the first pitch of the game. And of course, the way the shadows are peering in between the mound and home plate, it's a good thing we got some runs in the first inning. Have to imagine it's difficult for hitters to pick the ball up. And I would laugh so hard if Jock tried to bunt his way on against the chef here. Um, is anybody else having a hard time discerning the AL players from the umpires? Hmm. Like Emma said, bring back players wearing their team's normal jerseys in the ASG, please. Jose Ramirez is really hugging the line there at third. I wonder how many hit batters it would take for an All-Star game brawl. Has anyone ever been ejected from the All-Star game? The Dodger Stadium Oregon player just played running up that hill, and I think I've officially heard it everywhere I've left my house the last month. Yeah, that's a lot, man. So overall, of course, AL is they took this one, man. They really took this one. They beat the National League, which is crazy. 4 years in a row, man, and that's pretty crazy and kind of a bummer from the National League too. So that's crazy right there. And a little congratulations to the American League for winning the All-Star game for the fourth time. All right, now we can go to the Home Run Derby. Now, before we go to the Home Run Derby, there's been some rumors. There's been some rumors in the air, actually. So let's get to that. So this is more of a recap, folks. This is more of a recap, actually. Let's see. So, the New York Mets are off to an excellent start at 26-14, which is more than they're in the 80s right now. They're in the 80s right now of wins right now, so that's pretty good on that part. But there is a reason for concern with star pitchers Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom, each sidelined by injuries. With that as the backdrop, John Heyman of the New York Post reported that National League East leaders will be scouting starting pitchers who may be available in the trade market. He specifically mentioned Frankie Montas from the Oakland Athletics and Luis Castillo and Tyler Mahle from the Cincinnati Reds. That the Reds may be selling multiple pitchers comes as no surprise, considering they started the year by not re-signing Nick Castellanos, waiving pitcher Wade Miley, and trading catcher Tucker Bernhardt. Pitcher Sonny Gray, infielder Eugenio Suarez, pitcher Amir Garrett, and outfielder Jesse Winkler. In an 11-26 start to the campaign, only further suggests they will be in sell mode, while general manager Nick Kroll told reporters before the year that Cincinnati didn't plan on moving Castillo or Mahle. And MLB insider Peter Gammons reported earlier this month the team was willing to talk at this point. Castillo would likely require a hefty return since he is under team control through 2024. He was a 2019 All-Star and posted an ERA below 4.00 in 4 of his first 5 years for the Reds. Mahle is coming off back-to-back impressive showings with an ERA of 3.59 in 2020 and 3.75 in 2021. But he has resembled the pitcher who had a 5.14 ERA in 2019 thus far this year. In 9 starts, the right-hander has a 5.23 ERA, 1.35 whip, and 44 strikeouts across 43.0 innings. Montas may be a better option with a 3.67 ERA, 1.02 whip, and 53 strikeouts in 49.0 innings, especially since the Athletics are in last place in the American League West and could be looking to reset ahead of the trade deadline. Ultimately, none of these pitchers and Scherzer or DeGrom, but New York also already has a 7-game cushion in the NL East and will have the opportunity to make the playoffs simply by treading water until the 2 stars return. Castillo, Mahle, or Montas will help them do just that and ideally set the stage for the 1-2 punch to return to health and dominate in October. Yep, that was your rumors in the air of the Mets trade. Now we go to the best moments of the recap highlight of the Home Run Derby. All right. Okay. Yes, of course, yesterday, July 18th, which was 2 months ago. This is a recap. Was an unforgettable day for baseball fans around the country. The highlight of the evening was the 2022 Home Run Derby. The event took place at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. The Derby was played in a knockout tournament format with a starting bracket of 8 contestants. They were all incredible hitters with a knack for hitting home runs. Of course, round one, Ronald Acuna Jr. versus Pete Alonso. One of the most interesting first round matchups was between Pete Alonso and Ronald Acuna Jr. Alonso, aka the Polar Bear, a first baseman for the New York Mets, is a two-time back-to-back home run derby um, champion. He completed again this year to try for the three-peat. His opponent Acuna has hit 8 home runs this season and has the longest average distance in the league. Acuna went first and was able to hit a respectable 19 home runs in the 3 minutes plus bonus time. Alonso got off to a slow start. However, after warming up a little, he was able to breeze through the round with plenty of time to spare. The final score was coincidentally the same as when the two faced off in the 2019 Home Run Derby. Alonso 20 and Acuna 19. Round two, Albert Pujols versus Juan Soto. Um, After an improbable advance in a 1 minute tie-break round against Schwarber, um, Albert Pujols was set to face Soto. Soto had made easy work of his opponent, Jose Jose Ramirez, in the first round, beating his score without even starting the bonus round. When Pujols put up a mediocre 15 home runs in his at bat, most thought Soto would have another easy victory. However, this was not the case. Soto had a terrible start. He did not record a single home run in nearly the first minute. He finished with 13 home runs after 3 minutes. He needed three more to win it in the bonus minute. Soto advanced narrowly in less than 20 seconds left on the timer. And finally, Julio Rodriguez versus Juan Soto. The final round featured Dominicans Julio Rodriguez and Juan Soto. The format of the final round was slightly different from the first two rounds, with each player only getting 2 minutes initially instead of three. Rodriguez struggled to find the same rhythm he'd found in the first two rounds. He only finished 18 homers. He also most he also hit most balls too high, which meant they did not travel far. His longest shot of the round was only 46 feet, and he did not qualify for the extra 30-second bonus. Soto hit some deep home runs, and one went as far as 476 feet, nearly beating his round one record of 482 feet. He was able to finish the 2 minutes with 15 points. With just under 15 seconds left in the bonus time, he drilled number 19 to right field to win the 2022 Home Run Derby. And of course, obviously, that's pretty good though, man. That's pretty good. That's his first home run derby that he won, so that's pretty good, man. Let's make some noise, man, for Juan Soto. Um, yeah. All right, let's find out which team Juan Soto got traded to. Let's find out right now. Actually, um, let's find out. Okay, which team did Juan Soto get traded. Okay, so obviously he's no longer in the Washington Nationals uniform jersey. The Washington Nationals have traded superstar outfielder Juan Soto to the San Diego Padres. The teams announced Soto, the biggest name on the market, ahead of Tuesday's 6 p.m. Eastern trade deadline, had been made available in July after he declined a 15-year, $440 million extension offer. Wow, that's pretty interesting. Let's see. Let's see. What else can we talk about here in this episode? If I'm not mistaken, I want to make sure I got every topic handled. Um, let's see. Let me make sure I get everything handled here. Um, hang on a minute here. Okay. All right. All right. Adonis Medina. Here we go. Um. All right. So when you think about the Mets bullpen, Adonis Medina is not the first player you think of as a reliable arm. Edwin Diaz is in the widst of a historic season as a closer. Adam Ottavino has turned into a solid free agent addition, and Trevor Williams has helped the Mets as both a starter and middle reliever. But as a group, the Mets bullpen has seen as the potential Achilles heel for a team brimming with talent and star power. Arms like Seth Lugo, Joely Rodriguez, and Trevor May have been unreliable, and new additions like Michael Givens haven't panned out yet. One player who has given a lot of work earlier in the season had repeatedly gone through the call up, call down charade is rookie Adonis Medina. Medina was traded to the Mets from the Pittsburgh Pirates shortly after the lockout ended in the off season and has stepped up whenever the Mets needed him. It's gotten to the point where even after not pitching for the big league club in over a month, Medina's 8-pitch inning of work in the Mets 10-2 win Wednesday afternoon was seen as the norm. And it's time for Buck Showalter and the Mets front office to trust Medina and allow him the opportunity to pitch in more high leverage roles as the season continues. When talking about the Mets, the 2022 season doesn't get much better than seeing Edwin Diaz on the mound. The closer is enjoying one of the best seasons of his career and has become the best closer in all the National League with a 1.39 ERA. But outside of Diaz, there is a major hole in dependable and consistent relievers that New York currently employs. After Diaz, 4 relievers have recorded saves for the team in 2022. Adam Ottavino has blown all 3 save opportunities that have been given to him. Trevor May has 1 save, but is coming off an injury that kept him away from baseball for months. Trevor Williams also picked up a save as a long reliever. Even Seth Lugo has blown 3 of 6 save opportunities he was presented with. In one particular outing against the Dodgers back in June, Lugo blew a 2-run lead that forced the game into extras. That same game saw Adonis Medina step up against the heart of the Dodgers order and pick up his first career save in an inning later. The Mets don't need to have Medina come in and save games as long as Edwin Diaz is available, but it is also obvious that the Mets have serious questions about the relief pitchers who will get to Diaz in the first place. Lugo, Rodriguez, and May haven't been able to show consistency when it comes to being reliable out of the bullpen. Why shouldn't Medina get a crack at it? Medina splits fit what the Mets need. At the trade deadline, Met fans had been begging for a left-handed reliever who could constant, consistently get left-handers out. General Manager Billy Epler pivoted a tad and went with Michael Givens instead. While Met fans may have been frustrated, it's important to note that Adonis Medina has the actual splits. The most fans were clamoring for in a reliever. Medina's ERA to an excellent 2.86 in 22 innings of work on the season. Hold on 1 second. Get a sip of water. Stay with me. All right. Let's see. Oh, okay. Left-handed hitters are also hitting a measly 185 on the season against the rookie. Um, that's the lowest batting average amongst all top relievers the Mets currently trust outside of Edwin Diaz. Is Medina's body of work too small to compare to players like Lugo and Rodriguez, who have both pitched over 30 innings? Perhaps, but is it enough to at least give Medina the chance to be an everyday high leverage reliever? I would think so. Medina is having an underrated season. Adonis Medina's 2022 campaign has been far better than people realize. Although appearing in 12 games, the rookie has only given up runs in 3 of those outings. His one stinker on the season was a 5-run game given up to the Rockies in May. Outside of the one contest where he struggled, Medina has been excellent in a pretty extensive body of work. Tasked with pitching for multiple innings, Medina gave up just 1 run in 5 innings of relief work against the Houston Astros in a 2-week span and hasn't given up a run since June 21st. Medina was trusted to get 3 huge innings of shutout relief when the Mets won an 8-3 thriller in Cincinnati in July. The rookie was also trusted to hold the Phillies scoreless late when the Mets came from 7-1 down to win in early May. And of course, the right-hander was trusted to get a 3-out save against the heart of the Dodger order in extra innings, clinging to a 1-run lead rather. Um, Medina rewarded his manager trust through all those difficult situations. It's time his manager and front office reward him with more chances and more high leverage situations. Okay. One more person we need to talk about is Eduardo Escobar. Yes, he recently came back from a shoulder tightness that led him on the IL. So Eduardo Escobar should not have been playing Friday night. He had lost his starting spot, at least against opposing righty pitchers. First to Luis Guillorme, then to Brett Beatty. Yet injuries forced the struggling third baseman back into a temporary everyday role, which he took advantage of Friday. I will explain what's happening to Luis Guillorme and Brett Beatty in the next episode of this Sports Edition Show podcast right here. Escobar drilled a home run to right field, notably from the left side, and added a sacrifice fly and walk, driving in 3 in the Mets' 7-3 win over the Nationals at Citi Field. If Guillorme or Beatty had been healthy, either lefty swinger would have been playing. But Escobar, who is hitting just 207 against righties this season, struck a 2-run homer against righty Joshua Gray to give the Mets a second inning lead. It doesn't matter if I hit it from the left side or the right side. It doesn't matter. I go out there and play hard, Escobar said through interpreter Alan Surreal. I know this year hasn't gone the way that I wanted it to from the left-handed side, but I continue to go out there to work. I know I have the potential to go out there and produce. I've been here for 10 years. Here is the majors in which Escobar first established himself as an above average player, then as an all-star last year. The Mets gave him a 2-year, $20 million deal, but Escobar has not hit as he has in the past, which led to a third base platoon. Very quietly in a time of need, with Luis being down and Beatty not available, he stepped up for us, manager Buck Showalter said after Escobar slammed his first homer since July 26th and first lefty homer since July 13th. But that doesn't surprise anybody. Escobar entered play in another slump, 3 for 20 in his past 9 games. He and the Mets will hope he has found something. A game like today really helps a lot with a player's confidence, Escobar said. There were no breaks for the Mets on Friday, coming off a competitive and energetic series against the Dodgers. Hold on. Okay. The reliable top four of the order: center fielder Brandon Nimmo, right fielder Starlin Marte, shortstop Francisco Lindor, and first baseman Pete Alonso, aka the Polar Bear, were, were where they have been all season in the lineup. The Mets just won 2 of the 3 from the Dodgers, who have run away with the NL West and will have the luxury of resting their stars down the stretch. The Mets, who are 3 games ahead of the Braves in the NL East, cannot begin coasting. Well, they're about 1 game up on the Braves so far, but hopefully, hopefully, after I finish this episode 33 recording, I'll be able to catch up on the Mets game and see what's going on, how they're doing with the Pittsburgh Pirates. And a quick reminder, there's going to be a doubleheader with the Pittsburgh Pirates tomorrow, 12:30 and 6:30. So it's going to be on SNY. If you can't make it out there to watch in person, you can also watch it on SNY. And you can also download the SNY app too on your iPhones and your Androids as well. So there you have it right there. Okay. We need to get to the playoffs first. No one's assuming anything here, Showalter said. We're trying to win games, and we monitor workload very closely. Lindor and Alonso each has played in 132 of the Mets' 133 games this season. Nimmo has started in the Mets' past 22 games, all in center field. Marte has played in the club's past 21 games. Showalter has leaned heavily upon Jeff McNeil too, while the Mets' other position players have been rotated in and out. The Mets manager said he checks with his players every day to see if they need a breather, but he said of his core, they want to play. Tom McGill feels good, Showalter said after beginning his rehab assignment Thursday with Double-A Binghamton, the former starter who is being converted into a reliever, faced 3 batters for Somerset, the Yankees affiliate, and struck them all out. Showalter said McGill would take a day or two off before his second rehab outing. The Mets want to see how McGill bounces back and whether he will be available for back-to-backs, or as a multi-inning threat. That's what we're trying to get our arms around, Showalter said of the righty who hasn't pitched since mid-June because of a right shoulder strain. Taiwan Walker partnered with the New York founding to give out tacos to fans before the game Friday. Thai Taco Truck was accepting donations for the founding. No, excuse me, the Foundling, sorry, which is one of New York City's largest providers of foster care services. And when Diaz was voted the NL, which is National League Reliever of the Month, for the third consecutive month, Diaz is the first major league reliever to win 3 straight Reliever of the Month awards since he did so himself during his 2018 campaign in the AL with the Mariners. In 10 appearances in August, Diaz allowed 1 run in 10 and two-third innings while striking out 16 and holding opposing batters to a 139 average. Wow. How about that? How about that?
Yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this episode right here, man. So listen, you're more than welcome to make a charitable donation to my Cash App, which is $ G Money Stacks 555. That's $ capital G lowercase MONEY capital S lowercase TACKZ 555. You don't need to have a lot of money to show support. Um, all you need to do is actually do the best you can. I know you are human out there, so whatever amount of money you decide to donate will be appreciated and acknowledged. So there you have it right there. Um, there you have it right there. Let's see. Now what we're gonna do. Hold on a minute here. Hang on a minute here. Now what we're gonna do is we are gonna go to our last segment of the night. And and yeah, so here it is. Hang on a minute. Now we're gonna go into stream choices on the go. Let's do this. Let's do this right now. You like what you heard in today's episode 33 titled Hit the Bleachers, or any previous episodes whatsoever. You you can show some love by following Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, um which is also on Instagram. Of course, I'm actually going to change that username after I get off. But for now, I kept it at Excellent Fun Vibrant Podcast, so it'd be a lot easier. So I don't have to, change the links and stuff. So it'll be a lot of work. So yeah, Excellent Fun Vibrant Podcast. It's still the same show, folks. So don't worry about the word. It's just the word I just added in. So there you have it right there. And yeah, yeah, follow the Sports Edition show on Instagram as well, and of course follow Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast, Off the Meat Rat Chains New York podcast on Facebook and Instagram, and myself, which is G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. Make sure you turn on your notifications to tune in to when each episode is going to be dropping. Each of these episodes are going to be dropped on Thursdays, all right? So yeah, Thursdays. So there you have it right there. And yeah, I am going to actually get into the link. You can leave a voice message on anchor.fm in the link in bio where it says Linktree / Excellent Fun Vibrant Podcast right there. So
So there you have it right there. I am going to actually get into where you can listen to the episodes on streaming platforms. If you click on the link in bio where it says Linktree/Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks Podcast, actually, you're gonna see a whole list of audio streaming platforms, starting with Anchor, Audible, Audacity, Amazon Music, Breaker, Castbox FM, Deezer, Listen Notes, Moon FM Podcast, Player FM, Pocket Cast, Podfriend, Podorama, Podopolo, Podcast Addict, Podcast Index, Podchaser, Podverse, Reason FM, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Google Podcasts, and plus you can give a 5-star rating to Podchaser, Podfriend, and Spotify. 5-star rating will be appreciated. And you can listen to Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks Podcast Sports Edition show on Radio Public, iHeartRadio, the number one F of music, radio, and podcast, alongside with the along with my other shows, which is Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast review show, alongside with Off the Meat Rack Chains New York Podcast, which is also on iHeartRadio as well. I just did episode 82. I will drop that in a couple of minutes after this. Make sure you follow those two shows and this show right here on iHeartRadio as well. And last but not least, the YouTube. Make sure you grab that subscribe button on the YouTube channel page, Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks Podcast, on the YouTube channel page. Click on the Naughty bell so you can be reminded when the show goes in the air via live stream. Leave a like and a comment along with the episodes and the topics that's being discussed. And of course, more video content, upcoming episodes, previous episodes in case you missed any of them, new and previous. Everything is all uploaded and posted to the YouTube channel. So don't worry. Everything is all there. So there you have it right there. Tell a friend to another friend by spreading the word. Word of mouth is important. Make sure you stream, listen, download these episodes, share the episodes, share the videos, and of course, share the podcast with the link that says Linktree/Excellent Fun Vibrant Podcast with your husbands, your wives, your boyfriends, your girlfriends, your friends, and the people you are cool with, from work or wherever else it is that you talk to people. So there you have it right there. That's gonna do it for me. I'm G Money Stacks. Thank you very much for listening and tuning in to episode 33, titled "Hit the Bleachers." Remember, the grind doesn't stop. Hard work pays off. If you want to earn things, you have to work hard. You know what I'm saying? And also, trust the process. Find your voice in whatever you are doing creatively speaking, whether you are a radio personality, podcaster like myself with 3 podcast shows underneath of my belt. And of course, New York wasn't built in a day. And that's the most important part to remember, that New York wasn't built in a day. It took some time, and it's a process. So you know what I'm saying? And it most importantly, do something that makes you happy, that makes you smile mentally, physically, and spiritually. And don't let anybody stop you from
accomplishing your goals and dreams, go with your gut, go with your instincts. Um, don't worry about trying to be a people pleaser to your parents and other people. And also, the most important thing here is to you know make sure you find something that gets you into your zone. So um, be sure to stay in your zone. Be careful out there. I hope y'all had a nice Labor Day weekend. And stay liquid. Take care of one another. Of course, find out how they're doing mentally, physically, and spiritually with a little mental health check-in. And for the most part, man, I really appreciate every single one of you who actually tuned in and rocked with me and hanged out with me in every episode. I know the change of the title to the podcast has been all of a sudden, but I think Talks is a good fit for the title. You know what I'm saying? So that's Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, the sports edition show right here. And yeah, of course, yes, stay in your zone and you know, consistency, confidence is key. All right. I'm off this shit. I'm out of here. Thank you very much for listening and tuning in to rock with me. I do appreciate every single one of you who actually tune in from all over the world. Um, USA, Canada, Long Island, aka Strong Island, plus the 5 spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. To all the sports fans out there that's actually listening to this right now, stay tuned for the next episode. I'll see y'all next time. Peace and one love. And enjoy the rest of your day and have yourselves a good night, folks.